Hello, welcome back finally. We are back on recreating Willow Creek, getting ready for a big rotational let's play. As you can see, much fuller is the world. I have been working on it. I've been working on it now and then, doing little bits and big bits and other bits. Because at this point, it's mostly larger things that I have to fix up in this world. But what we're focusing today on this little section. So we still have the two little apartment buildings. Last time I believe, actually last time we looked at the Cupcake household and the Buttons household, but last time we were at the apartments, we looked at Jack and Bonnie, who live in apartment 1, and there is this other girl, and we'll talk about her in a second. But I've added people to the next apartment. So here are apartments 1 through 4, where Jack and Bonnie live, but now we have apartments 5 through 8, which is where Pastor Jam Umbrellu and Jarth Vorhand live. We've already met Jarth. We know Jarth. Jarth is from the Vorhand household. The very first episode of this series, we talked about a family who has just had the dad leave. This is the dad, in case you do not remember. This is where he came, to this little apartment. Like I said, I intend on him opening a business, I believe. The other person living in this apartment building is Pastor Jam Umbrellu, who is a pastor, obviously. He has, in fact, a description. I've finally gotten around to writing more descriptions, but I did write him a description. Recently converted, Jam Umbrellu is passionate about building up a new church. All he needs is a few members, a bit of cash, and the help of God. But he is still a young Christian and hasn't quite left behind his old way of life. Will his party animal side affect his new calling? Which I just realized that reads as party animal side effect. Or will he be able to leave his past in the past? So essentially, this guy is a recently converted Christian. He is going to build up a church, and I will talk more about that in a minute. But the issue is that he still hasn't quite gotten over a lot of the things that he used to do that weren't very Christianly. He's a dance machine, romantic, and mean, but this is his party outfit. Beautiful. So his whole thing is that he's trying to build, I feel like I've explained this like 3 times already, but he's trying to build up a church, and he is just still struggling with his need to parties and be mean to people. Also, he has a mean streak. So we will get to watch and see how he evolves as a person. Now, he's planning on building a church, and the thing is, he needs a place to build the church, a place for the church to meet, an actual church building, steeple with little cross on top, and that is where the junkyard comes in. This is the junkyard. It is a little pit of junk and stuff. I forget whether I'm going to start with him having already bought this property or whether that's going to be part of the thing. It probably depends on some rules we have later. But this is the junkyard. You see, it's all full of junk and yard. It is a yard full of junk. It's actually a bit of a hole. Look at me using terrain tools. Impressive. It has this little building, which I haven't actually made anything inside of it yet. I don't know what buildings in junkyards look like, but it's just a little building where whoever ran the junkyard runs the thing. So the plan, theoretically, is that Mr. Jam is going to be buying this property. He's going to be hosting the church in this little building, and over time, if we can get the money and the patrons, we will be cleaning out all the trash from the junkyard and converting this whole property into a church and a graveyard, because you know what's really nice to have, and not nice, necessary to have in a large play of Sims where you have a lot of Sims that you're playing and you plan on playing it fairly long term. Do you know what you need? You need a graveyard, because lots of Sims die, and lots of Sims leave lots of graves when they die, and you need a place to put the graves so that the ghosts do not just haunt you forever. So graveyard and a church. that's what's going to happen. When we play as him, we're going to see if we can convince the other Sims to join the church, which we're probably going to use the club system to do that, and we're going to build a church. That's the thing. I feel like I'm explaining that just way too much. But you might have noticed this girl and this girl, who I did not acknowledge up until this point, except for the part where I did acknowledge them. Something I intend to do with this Let's Play is that I think I want properties and ownership of properties to be like a thing. Because these are apartments, I wanted there to be landlords. These are the two sisters. This is Tanya Landlord and Tina Landlord. They are twin sisters, identical twin sisters, very identical, with very different personalities and styles. Each one lives in their own apartment in the apartment building, and we're gonna treat them like NPCs. They're NPCs. We're not gonna actually play with them, at least I don't think we are. Who knows what will happen when we actually get in and play them. I might not be able to help myself. I just feel like it really fleshes the world out to have like people behind the property. So I didn't just want the people living in the apartments to just live in apartments and not like have any explanation of where those apartments came from. I didn't work very hard on them. Their whole thing is that Tanya looks scary, but she's actually nicer, and Tina looks really nice, but she's actually evil. And then the last thing, because I want to finish off this little strip of land, is this little plot right here. I thought about turning this plot into a school because, you know, there's a lot of basketball players and the teenagers in this neighborhood, so I wanted to make sure there was a place where they could do basketball, so I was going to make a school, but it's just such a tiny lot, and I didn't want to make a whole school also. Honestly, the whole Sims 5 rumors and everything have really made me try to kick into gear of actually trying to start this Let's Play. So what this is this is an empty lot. This is a lot that's next to the apartments. You see I converted a lot of it into kind of like the sidewalk with like a little bathroom right here. So I imagine that the teenagers in this neighborhood probably all kind of come here to hang out in this little lot. There's a basketball goal, and there's some trash and graffiti over here, because this is the kind of trashy side of town, and there's graffiti thingies for them to do graffiti. And then there's a couple little things to eat and stuff, and there's a little sign advertising something and little benches for people to walk on the sidewalk, and it's like half gated in. It's just like a nice kind of little place where I think we'll be able to like send the teenagers when we want to send them somewhere to go out. I called it the hang because that sounds like something teenagers would say. Pastor Umbrellu is available on the gallery. I did actually remember to put him on the gallery this time. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy this that I'm making. I'm enjoying it, and I hope that I can actually start this Let's Play before Sims 4 becomes too obsolete in the shadow of Sims 5. I'm excited about Sims 5, but not when I have a giant Let's Play set up ready to do in Sims 4. Jesus loves you. Goodbye.